What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the Let's Build the U.S.S. Voyager Season 1, Episode 33. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and helping me supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we've got about a 20-minute episode, and we're going to be working on trying to strengthen up the front outline of the lower hull of Voyager. We're also going to be shaving off another row here in the middle, and then we'll be doing a little bit of work on the shuttle bay and then also the pylons. So without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into today's episode. So what I want to do is I just want to make more of a clear outline of the hull for the front end, because I feel like this is going to help make it stick out just a little bit better to where it looks better. Now you can see here I'm just following my cut line. I apologize for down here where it's getting a little bit dark. I am going to come back and add in some lighting on that. So we're going to go in and we're going to do the left side, repeating the same steps that we just did on the right side. That doesn't look too bad. Now, to make everything kind of blend in together, we're going to start with the bottom. We're going to do a straight row going all the way across, and then again we're just going to go with our cut line. Actually need one more block there. There we go. And I deleted another block on accident. It's a little bit dark right there. I need to add in a couple of illumination blocks. Just a little bit too dark right there. There we go. It would help if we could see just a little bit better. Then we're just going to bring that up and fill that in. And that works out because now that connects with the top part. And I'm not going for perfection here. Really all I want is just an outline for the front end to differentiate it and get it to stick out a little bit more so it has that more of a clean cut look. It doesn't look perfect from the front, but from the sides, that's where I want it. That looks pretty good. Voyager is still a little bit too heavy around the belly, but don't worry, we will get her there. Let's add in a few more light blocks just to lighten that up just a little bit more. But all things considered, she's not looking too bad. Alright, now we are going to shift gears over into the shuttle bay. We're not going to spend a ton of time working on it. We're really just going to be getting some prep work done so that when we really come in here to start fleshing out the shuttle bay, that we'll already have a head start on it. Because in Season 1, we're going to be building out the shuttle bay, the main corridors to get us from the lower hull up to the main hull of the ship and then up to the bridge, and the turbo lifts needed to achieve that. So shuttle bay, a couple of primary turbo lifts, main corridors, and bridge. That's all that we're doing for the interior for Season 1. Now with Season 2, we will be getting into the interior. I had a poll up on my community tab on YouTube asking people if they wanted to see a second season of Voyager. And between that and the comments, I have had a ton of people asking for it. So Season 2 of Voyager is going to happen, but with that being said, we are going to take a break in between seasons. I don't want to make the same mistake that I made with the Enterprise D, because basically what I would have done if I could go back and do it again, with the length of that, for one, I would have tried to figure out a way to cut down with how many episodes that there were with Season 1 of the Enterprise D. But I probably would have even split up what that was into maybe 2 or even 3 seasons. I'd have to go back and look, but if I'm not mistaken, we spent about a year, if not more, just working on the Enterprise D, which was crazy. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do it. I am more than happy to do it. But I understand that not everybody's going to want to build the Enterprise D. They might have other things that they're waiting to see. They might get bored with it. They might want to move on to other stuff. So, don't get discouraged by that we're not going to do Season 2 right off rip with Voyager. It's healthy to work on other stuff too, but the point is that we will be doing a Season 2 of Voyager. I just haven't decided when that's going to come out, because what I can say is that following Voyager Season 1, we will be getting into the Excelsior 2 class. That's going to be the next Let's Build coming up immediately following Voyager, and then after that, I haven't really decided yet what build I'm going to do following that. But I've got a couple of side projects that I am doing. You know, I haven't started the interior of Voyager, but I am working on the Enterprise D to get caught up to where I was, so that I can start doing new stuff for that, so I can do a Season 2. I've also got the Enterprise A 2.0 that I've been working on, and there's a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be doing in the future. So we're looking pretty good right now. Like I said, we're just trying to fill in just a little bit of this, just to get a point of reference to go off of, but we are in pretty good shape with Voyager so far. That's not looking too bad. We're really not going to veer away from that shape too much for what we have. Pretty much what's there is more or less going to end up being the final version of the shuttle bay, but we will be making changes to it, if that makes sense, at the same time. We're just going to make some adjustments to what we have right now to make that look a little bit better in the long run, but it won't be, it'll be minor changes and not drastic. Alright, so I think at this point in today's episode we're going to work on the pylons just a little bit, and then we're going to take off another layer on the middle waist section of Voyager's lower hull. Now this piece that I'm building right here, specifically on the pylons, this was originally supposed to be intended the bending point, or the brackets to where the pylons would be able to arch up. Now we are going to have to adjust these, because more or less where I have them right now, they're a little bit too far out. I have to bring them in tighter to the ship, but we'll do that a little bit later on. For right now, if you don't want to repeat this step, you can, but those of you that want to be caught up with me, put this down just so you have the exact same thing that I do. This is more or less going to be a test, for one, to see how it looks, but some of the stuff that I'm talking about are really spoilers because I'm telling you what we're ultimately going to do, but at this point I hadn't yet made the decision to move that bracket a little bit inward. This is why I say having those references can be super helpful. I think the most important thing right now is just the shape of the pylons. That was probably the one error that I made right here, and like that's something that I'm working on too. I'll get excited with my outline and I'll start adding in some details. I probably should maybe wait until a later point to add them. Right now I should be more focused on just the shape of the pylon itself, because I can't say pylons. I mean, technically there are two, but also technically it's just kind of one big piece. So that's really what the focus should be, is just getting the shape right of the pylon, and then once we have that shape down, then we can start worrying more about detailing. Alright, I'm pretty happy so far with the outline that we have. I've let it sit long enough to the point that I'm going to run with it for right now, so I'm just literally filling in the gaps for the middle, front, and back. So this way, when I'm ready, I can go in and I can fill in the top and bottom. That's not looking too bad. This is why I say, you know, it's just a step-by-step process. That's why I say if you see I either made a mistake somewhere or I haven't gotten onto something just yet, just have a little bit of patience with this. There's only so much time that I have with you guys in each episode. So because of that, I have to really I have no choice other than to break it up episode to episode, but just, you know, stick with me. This is why I'm putting out the tour episodes first, so this way you guys can see what the finished ships actually look like, to get that clear representation of where we're going to go with the tutorial. So this way you can get an idea of seeing like, okay, this is what it's actually going to look like. Is this something that I want to jump into? So if you did see that tour episode and you're excited about how Voyager looked in that episode, just stick with me. We're just not there yet. We have a significant amount of work that we have to do, but we're just knocking it out episode to episode at this point. Alright, so I did kind of zoom in a little bit too fast there. We're going to go in and we're going to take off a row on the lower hull. So basically what we're going to do is, this is going to be a slow and steady process. So now we've made an adjustment where we've made the front end a lot thinner. So now I'm going back, I'm looking at my reference material, and then I'm looking at what I have to gauge on whatever I need to do. So I'm still seeing that Voyager is a little bit thick, but now it's in the middle waistline here. So what we're going to do is that we're gradually going to start taking away rows. Easiest way to do this is just do it conservatively. We're just going to do it one row at a time. Yeah, it might end up being just a little bit more work, but it will pay off in the long run because we're not rushing through it. So what we're going to do right now is this middle row right here. It's the thickest point on the lower hull. We're going to get rid of that. And then these two rows are the same cut line height, and we're just going to bring them straight across. So essentially deleting this extra cut going out. I'm going to let a lot of this write out so that you guys can see what I'm deleting in this upper area, to try to keep as close as you can to what I have for those of you that want to be able to build out Voyager, as close as you can to what I have. You'll have this available to you. But this really is not a hard thing what we're doing right now. We're just taking away an extra layer, and we're trying to anticipate looking at what we have and looking at what those lower layers look like to see what we need to do. Now, one slight mistake I made when I got up here, some of this I actually don't need to delete, because it's the same height. It's really when we get down here where it's the rows that are actually coming out by 1 that we need to get rid of. Now I'm not going to delete all of this on camera. I really just wanted to start at the top and work my way down so that you guys can have the same thing. But here in a minute, I'm just going to do a straight cut line going down and all the way around, just to make sure that everybody knows that this extra row, and I'm calling it an extra row right now because again it's the thickest point on the lower hull, we are getting rid of it. So we're not making a super drastic change, just a slight tweak. And again, before you even get started on this, if you're watching this and you're like, man, you know what? I'm done making adjustments to the lower hull. I'm happy enough with it. I'm calling it a day. Look, that's fine. You do not have to make this change if you don't want to. Your ship's just going to look slightly different than mine, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be a game changer, and you can make it work, you know? Just for me, this stuff kind of bugs me, and it's going to bug me until I fix it. So alright, I've skipped forward to the point that I've already deleted this extra point, and now we're just going to fill it in. Super simple. I guarantee you cannot make a mistake in this step, because you're literally just connecting one side to the other. So we call this an autopilot area because that's basically what it is. There's no thinking involved, just filling it in. Now if I'm not mistaken, now because it has been a little while now since I've built out Voyager, I'm trying to remember how much more we edit on the lower hull. If I'm not mistaken, I think we're going to take away either one more row or possibly 2. But after that, then we're going to be done editing the thickness of it. So we are almost done with it. It's just getting to that point, basically. And now you see right here to solve this problem where I'm at, because I stopped because I want to make sure that my patterns are matching up. So I'm just taking the pre-existing pattern that's already here. I'm just bringing it all the way back. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. We will come back and we'll clean up those intersection points with the lower hull and the neck and the saucer. Right now, my main focus is just getting this cleaned up and closed in, and we can worry about the minor details at a later point. But once we close this in, if you're doing this step with me, zoom out and take a look at Voyager. In fact, make another save before we've made these changes, and then go back and look and compare the two. Hopefully you will be able to see what I'm trying to do here, and just how thick I had originally made Voyager. And look, I mean, again, these things are going to happen. If it happens to you, do not beat yourself up over it. It's not worth it. It's just a problem to be solved. That is the best way to go about it, is like, okay, this is the problem I'm having, what can I do to fix it? Sometimes that sometimes it's going to be a clearer answer what you need to do, sometimes it's not. So hopefully going through and doing these let's builds with me, you guys are getting a clearer idea of what you would have to do in these same situations. This is again why I love showing my mistakes, because I'm trying to show you guys the troubleshooting steps that I use to fix these problems. I do the same exact thing. So what I'm telling you guys to do is exactly what I'm doing as I'm building this ship out. It's the same troubleshooting steps. Really, the biggest thing on these builds that's most important is having just a little bit of patience and realizing that, again, this is a marathon and not a sprint. Take your time. Plan things out. Be prepared to make adjustments. You know, again, this is why I show all my mistakes in it, because what's the point of showing you guys a perfect tutorial or a perfect Let's Build? I mean, I could edit out all this stuff and just focus on just having the perfect build, but I don't think that the people that are wanting to get really to learn something out of this experience will be getting it at that point. But you know, again, there's going to be different types of people that watch these videos, so I'm trying to offer that variety for you guys and going through those different scenarios. But again, if you don't have to make every single change that I'm making here, these are just suggestions. Because I'm really trying to help you guys out the best I can, because I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like trying to build out one of these things and not knowing what to do or even where to start. It could be a lot. Like I said, it took me a couple of years just to get my process down. But once I did, it made building these things out that much easier. And we're shifting back over to the pylons just briefly here. I'm adding another row. I'm just keeping my same pattern of 3, going forward with the cut. We're slowly but surely approaching how Voyager looked in the finished tour episode. She's finally starting to take that shape. We're not there yet, but you should start seeing a lot more similarities between the two. The neck is just about there, the saucer's just about there, the lower hull is just about there. It's really starting getting to the point where we're going to start making minor tweaks rather than significant tweaks. Now you can, hopefully you'll be able to see it a little bit more from the back view here. Of course, it skipped right away from it right as I was starting to talk about it, but you should hopefully be able to see just how much skinnier Voyager is at this point. But she's still a little bit too thick, and I believe I was right earlier when I said that we're going to be taking off 2 more rows, because this row, which is now the thickest point, that's a little bit too thick, and then the next one coming in. Because basically what I more or less want is from this line here to go straight across and connect where it would meet on the other side. So we still have 2 more rows that we're going to end up shaving off, I believe. Don't do it yet. Wait until we get to that point in the tutorial series, just in case I am off. But I'm 99.9% certain we're going to be taking off these 2 extra rows. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today. I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in today's episode. And if you did enjoy this content, please help me out. Hit that like and subscribe button and helping me in supporting the channel. I cannot thank you enough for that. And we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up on the channel in the future. Don't forget, we've got Voyager Season 2 that'll be coming up, as well as the Enterprise D Season 2. Immediately following Season 1 of Voyager, we'll have the Excelsior 2 class, and then also the Enterprise A 2.0 once we hit 1,000 subscribers. So a lot of cool stuff coming up on the channel. I hope you guys will come on this journey with me as we build all these ships out and everything else that we'll be doing over the next several builds. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for me today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe week. And of course, what did you make in Minecraft today? Let me know in the comments section. Post your pictures in Discord.